Hey guys, welcome to this quick tutorial on how to get yourself set up with a TradingView account. Now, first of all, I just want to say that some of you doing this If Granny Can course, you are probably not going to be using TradingView immediately right off the bat, and that's 100% okay. So it's always nice knowing that you can just come back to this video at a later stage when you do decide to start charting and plotting your next moves, that you've got all the info you need right here. Now, guys, first things first, tradingview.com, you're just going to go ahead and you're going to type that into your URL, and it's going to bring up this home page. Now, there are two ways that you can sign up for TradingView. The first way is a paid account, and the second way is actually just a plain old free account. Now, for beginners like you and I, we're going to need the free account and nothing more at this stage. Look, obviously, it's your preference. If you want to go ahead and pay for the full subscription, you can, but just know that it is 100% sufficient for what we need it for, just to go ahead and join for free. So let's get started. If you click on this blue button here on the right-hand side of the screen, it's going to say here, join for free. So go ahead and click on that button, and you're going to see it's going to pop up a sheet where you can fill in all your details. It's asking you to create a username. It's asking you to insert your email address and to create yourself a password. Go ahead, fill this in, and once you are done, you can go ahead and tick these tick boxes at the bottom. But this bottom button here where it says I'm not a robot, once you click that, it does sometimes prompt, as you can see on my screen now, it's asking me to select all the squares with crosswalks. Obviously, this is going to be a bit different for everyone. Sometimes it asks you to identify bicycles, buses, robots, you know, it just depends. So go ahead, follow the instructions, and then when you're done, you just need to click on verify. As you can see, it's given me a green tick, so I'm good to go. Guys, I'm not going to fill this in. I already have a TradingView account, but for your sake, please go fill in your details, and then once you're done, you're going to click on this blue sign up button at the bottom of the screen. You're going to be redirected to another page that tells you that you have not yet verified your account. You need to check the email that comes from TradingView. So the email that you've just inserted in this email field, you need to go to those emails and you need to check for an email that comes from TradingView. Select the email and click on the link in that email that is going to help you verify your account. As soon as that process is done, you're going to be able to log into your TradingView account. So once you've verified your account and you've been able to successfully log in, you are going to come to this main home page over here. Now, let's get started with the charting. So where you want to click first is over here, sort of towards the middle of the screen, you're going to hit the chart button. There are so many things you can do on TradingView, but today I'm focusing purely on getting you guys up and running so that you have a very basic understanding of how to use TradingView. Remember, learning how to chart and predict future patterns and whatnot, it's not something that you're going to be able to do just overnight. So take it easy. Don't get too flustered or frustrated. Just one video at a time, guys. Okay, so first things first, I want to just show you this chart over here. If you have a look here on the left-hand side of my screen, you can see it says BTC USD. So what that means is that this is a Bitcoin chart, but the trading pair is Bitcoin and Tether. Remember, in a previous video, we spoke about trading pairs and the importance or the significance of the trading pairs. So decide what trading pair you want to have a look at on your charts. For me, it's Bitcoin and Tether. And as you can see under here, it's actually Bitcoin Tether, and you can see that it's hit BTC. Now, I selected hit BTC, or this particular trading pair on hit BTC, because hit BTC is where I'm currently trading this at the moment. Remember, guys, you don't want to be checking a chart that's for a different exchange, because the price may fluctuate from exchange to exchange. So you want to make sure that the information you are looking at is relevant to you and what you are doing. Okay, very important. So for me, I'm on Hit BTC. That's the chart that I'm looking at the moment. Now, for you, you might be trading on a different exchange. So I want you to look here on the right-hand side of your screen. Yours might look a little bit different to mine because I have used this quite a few times before. But for you, it may have pre-populated loads and loads of different trading pairs. So all I want you to do now, regardless of what trading pairs they are, I just want you to hover your mouse on each trading pair. There's a little cross at the far right-hand side, and I just want you to keep clicking those until they are all gone. I'm going to show you how to add new trading pairs as soon as that is done. Right, so as soon as you've cleared your watch list, I want you to click here where it says add symbol. So put your mouse over there and then click. And then I want you to type in a trading pair that you might be interested in. And you're just going to go ahead and you're going to type in BTC. Now, as you can see on the screen, it's going to bring up all the available options to you. But if you're looking for a specific one and you're not really finding it, or you're battling to find it on this long, extensive list, you can filter your search. So you can check, you can see all the different exchanges. You can check only the stock exchanges, the future exchanges, Forex exchanges, or you can just zone in on the cryptocurrency exchanges, which I've done here. I've selected cryptocurrencies, and it's giving me a list of all the cryptocurrencies that have BTC as a listing on that exchange. So as you can see here, there's a little scroll bar down to the right-hand side, and you can go up and down the list and find the one that you are looking for. Remember, I stressed the importance of finding the exchange that you are currently trading on. So for me, I use BTC and Tether, so that's USDT. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that to my search just so that I can zone in a little bit more. And you can see here, Binance, Bittrex, where's another one I use? Here we go, Hit BTC. So guys, go ahead, find the exchange with the trading pair that you are using and just go ahead and click on it. So here we go, I'm going to say Poloni X. Maybe I've started trading on Poloni X, and you can see it's now added that one onto my watch list. So I'm going to give you a couple of seconds. Go ahead, find the trading pairs that you want. Very important, remember, on the exchange that you are using, and just go and add those. Right, guys, then when you are done with that, I just want to show you that you can actually rename your chart. Some guys do it, some guys don't. It definitely does make any difference, especially not on the free account. But for me, I like to see which chart I'm using at that particular moment. So yours should say no name or unnamed chart. But if you just go and click on this little drop down arrow to the right of it, you're going to see there's different options here that you can select. If you click on rename, you can then go ahead and rename your chart. So you can, here we go, have a chart, or you can say BTC chart, whatever you want to call that. Oh, cart. Hit BTC chart. So whatever you want to call it, and then you can just go ahead and click on save. Now, whatever happens in TradingView, it updates and saves automatically. So you can see that what I've currently done on this chart has been saved by looking at this little cloud icon at the top of the screen here. As soon as it's got a solid tick in the middle, you know that your work has been saved. If not, and something happens, you may just have to go and redo that at a later stage. But for now, all is sorted. Guys, then the next very important thing I want you to pay attention to is your time zone on TradingView. For us in South Africa, it may not automatically prompt to the South African time zone. So you can go ahead and select the time zone UTC+2. That is for us here in South Africa. So as you can see, it is 11:38 in the morning. That's the correct time zone that we want to be on. It's very confusing, guys, if you're sitting on a different time zone and things aren't really matching up. So you don't want to be sitting on a New York time zone while you're trading in South Africa. Although the markets don't close, it's just always nice to keep up to date and make sure you're in the same time zone. So we've got here our watch list. We've sorted out the name of our chart. I've showed you where to see which chart you are looking at. Now, to determine what time zone you want your chart to be visible in. So at the moment, you can see there's a W here that's been highlighted in blue. That means that I'm currently looking at the weekly chart for Bitcoin and Tether. But you can change this, and it's entirely up to you, because different trading strategies, you're going to be looking at different time zones. So like the really fast trading, the scalpers, the day traders, you're going to be looking at the 1 hour, 4 hour, daily even. But when it comes to long term, for me, I prefer the weekly and the monthly and even sometimes the daily. But long term is better because I personally enjoy swing trading. But entirely up to you. So you can just go ahead and you can select whichever chart you want just by selecting those options. And if you click on the drop down arrow to the right hand side, it's actually going to bring up a different list with so many more options that you can choose from. So you can see 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds. It's entirely up to you which one you prefer to look at. So I'm going to go back to the weekly chart. If you have a look here on the left-hand side of the screen, you're going to see there's a whole bunch of different icons. Again, guys, don't feel overwhelmed at this stage. I know there's a lot of info, but I'm just going to help you create a favorites bar. Now, if you click on this little star icon at the bottom of your screen, you're going to see it brings up my favorite toolbar. Yours, you may not have anything set up at the moment, which is fine. I'm going to help you do that. But as you can see, my favorite toolbar is set to all the different tools and accessories that I use for my charts. So how do you access that? You just click on this little favorite star, make it appear, and if you click on it again, it disappears. Right, so first things first, what is your cursor? What does your cursor look like? Now, as you can see, mine here hovering in circles on the screen is a little cross arrow. So to get that, you're going to click on this first icon. There's a little arrow to the right-hand side. You're going to click on that, and you're going to see that there's a little outline of a star next to this cross pattern. If you prefer using the cross or the dot, that's entirely up to you. For me, personally, I enjoy using the cross icon. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that star to make it one of my favorites. Remember, I'm just building up my favorites toolbar so that I'll make it as user-friendly as possible for myself. So that's what we're doing for you guys. So click on the cross or the dot, whichever you prefer. And then we're moving down to the next one. This is actually your trend line tools. Click on that drop down arrow to the right-hand side of it. And you can see the ones that I've selected. These are the ones that I use most often. Trend line, so I've gone ahead and I've selected it as a favorite, horizontal line, and vertical line. Guys, don't worry too much about how to set this up. I'm going to show you that in just a bit. We're first going to get through your favorites toolbar, and then we're going to move on to actually drawing with these tools. Okay, so once you've selected those three as your favorites, you can move on to the Fibonacci tools. And we're going to go down to Fib Retracement, and you're going to select that as a favorite. If this is sounding like Greek, I completely understand, but everything will make sense at a later stage and the further on you go with your trading journey. But just trust me for now, select this as your favorite because you are going to use it at some stage or another. Okay, now we're going to go to this brush tool here. We're going to select the drop down arrow, and we're going to select brush and rectangle as part of our favorites. Text is another one. You always want to keep text in your favorite toolbox because you sometimes just want to give yourself notes, just, you know, let yourself know what you were thinking at that particular time. Because when it comes to trading, it's very important to gauge, you know, your thoughts in the moment. Because you might come to a chart the day after and go, sure, why did I draw in that trend line? What was I thinking? What was my chain of thought at that particular moment? So the text icon is very nice. And also, if you just want to give yourself targets, you can just go ahead and type that in. In fact, let me show you how you use the text icon. You can see here it's brought up the text icon toolbox. You're just going to go ahead anywhere on your screen that you want it to appear, and you're just going to click and it's going to open up the text box. And quite simple, you can just go in and type whatever you want to type, and you're going to see that it is now going to appear on your screen. To move it around, you just hold it and drag it. So you put your mouse over it, you hold your clicker in, and you just move it around your screen to wherever you want it to be. Obviously, you can amend this. You can edit it by clicking on that little gear cog, and you can change the color, very easy. And you can play around with the text and the size and whatnot. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say okay. And obviously, if I don't want this text anymore, I just need to click on the toolbox and click on remove, and it disappears. Okay, so happy with that one. This icon here is way too advanced for us. And I know that even though you're going to be using this at a later stage, I don't even want to bring it into this training video now because it's just going to confuse everything. So at a later stage, these are really, really good indicators to use, or not indicators, should I say, but patterns. It's really good tools to use, but for right now, we're just going to give that a skip. Then when it comes to these, long position, even this one, I'm not too sure if you're going to be using it right now, but it is something nice to keep in your favorites toolbox. Then this little arrow icon here, this gives you a list of all the different icons that you can select. And guys, this is entirely up to you what you want to use, what you don't. I never use any of these, but you know, it's fun for some people to put in different little icons on the screen. And obviously you can play around with the size, and you can have a lot of fun with these icons. But for now, you should have a very nice favorites toolbar set up with all the different tools that you're going to be using. Okay, so remember to show that favorite toolbox, you're just going to click on the star icon at the bottom left of your screen, and to make it disappear, you're just going to simply click on it again. Okay, so I'm going to click on it. I want to bring up this toolbox, and I'm just going to show you quickly how to use some of these tools. So for the trend line, I'm going to go ahead and click on the trend line. So if I want to see where the market is, sort of the direction, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go at the bottom of a candle. I'm going to click on my trend line, and I'm just going to go up and click again. So you can see nice and easy. If I click on this cog here, the settings button, I can actually change the style of the trend line. So I can decide how thick it is. If I want a nice big fat thick line, if I want a dotted line, I can select that, or I can select just a solid line, and I can even decide how I want to end my trend line. So you can see here, you can add in an arrow, or you can just put a normal dot. Okay, so you can play around with that. It's quite a fun tool to use. If you want to move it around, all you have to do is just click on it and move it. If you wanted to lock it in place, all you would have to do is just click on this little lock icon, and then it kind of just grounds it, so you can't do anything with it. So to unlock, you're just going to click that lock button again. If you don't want to see it anymore, you simply just click on that little eyeball, and to make it come back, you just press the undo button. Guys, if you don't want the trend line anymore, you just click on the delete button. Really nice, easy peasy stuff. Same with the vertical and the horizontal lines. So all you're going to do is you're going to select one point that you want to make your line at, and it's really that easy. Okay, so I don't want that line anymore, so I'm going to just go ahead and delete it. Your Fibonacci retracements. It took me quite a while to get my head around this concept, and I'm not expecting you guys to do it overnight, but just be patient with yourselves. Okay, so if I'm selecting the Fib tool, I'm going to just select it, and I want to go ahead and I want to find the bottom, the low point of the cryptocurrency that I'm following. So I'm going to click on the low point, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the high point, and you're going to see that that gives you a nice Fib retracement line. So if you want to extend this, you just pull it out, and you can see. Like I've been saying, guys, if this looks Greek to you, do not worry. Okay, perfect. I'm just going to clear this now. Your brush tool, this is a very nice freehand tool. So if you want to show the direction of this upward movement, you can actually just go ahead and draw it in. And if you want to show what might come, then you can just draw it in. It's a really nice tool to use, guys. But to get it away, what you're going to do is you're going to click on it and click on delete. Okay, same with your rectangle. If you click on the rectangle, this is just nice to show you different zones. So if you want to put in your different zones, you can just go ahead, click on the screen and drag the rectangle however you see fit. And then just click again to lock it in place. Then you've got your text. I showed you how to use the text. And then your long position. This is quite a cool tool. So if you have a look at where Bitcoin is currently trading at, it's currently sitting at 9.5. So you want to go and you want to click on where Bitcoin is currently at. Now, I don't want to get too technical because I'm going to terrify you guys, but when you are trading, it's good to have targets that you want to reach, but it's also good to have stop loss targets. So where do you want to get out of the market? How much are you willing to risk losing if your trade turns around on you? So that's what this tool is. And it's a really, really nice tool to use once you know more or less what you're doing. Okay, so guys, that's it for the different toolbox, or the different tools that you can use. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that star button to make them disappear. I just want to show you how to set up an alert. So with the free TradingView account, you're allowed to set up one trade alert at a time. So let's say, based on where the price is at the moment, so it's currently trading at 9.5. Let's say I'm waiting for the price to get to $9,600. So I want to be notified when that point happens so that I can make a decision whether I'm getting out of the market or if I'm going to stay in. So I'm going to click on this little alarm clock button sort of in the middle of the screen towards the left-hand side. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to select that. Now you can see it says the value. So I can go ahead and put in the value that I want to be alerted at. So $9,600. And I can decide when I want to be alerted. Do I want to be alerted only once, or do I want to be alerted every time this price target hits? It also gives you an expiry date. So within the next 12 hours, I want to be notified. Thereafter, it's insignificant news. I don't care. So you can go ahead and you can set that in these time zones. Also, how you want to be alerted. Do you want a pop-up to show on the screen? Do you want to be notified on the app? Or do you actually want to be contacted via email when this price target hits? Entirely up to you. Once you've selected all your preferences, you're just going to go ahead and click on create. Now, as you can see, it's not very clear, but there is a orange line that's appeared here now on my screen. That is at the 9.6 level. That is showing me that my alert is in place. Now, if I wanted to amend this alert or change it or delete it, I'm going to come here on the right-hand side of the screen and I'm going to click on this little alarm clock here. And that gives me a list of my alerts. On the paid version of TradingView, you are allowed to add many more alerts. So obviously, if you are going to be using a paid version, you will have quite a few that you've set up for yourself. But on the free version, we only need one at a time, which is fine. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on this alert. And if I click on this little settings cog here, it's going to allow me to edit it to how I want it. So let's say I've changed my mind. I'm now looking for a price range of 10,900. And I'm going to click on save. And you can see it's now no longer at the 9.6 range. It's now moved up to the 11.9. And if I wanted to delete it altogether, I just click on the little cross on the right-hand side. It's going to ask me if I'm sure. Yes. And it is gone. Nice and simple. I think, guys, the last thing I want to show you, which is probably the most important, is how to set up different indicators on your chart. Now, you'll notice you should probably have the stochastic RSI at the bottom of the screen. It sort of appears as like a purpley bluish bar that comes down here at the bottom of your screen. So I just want you to hover your mouse over these different indicators, and I want you to find the X button, and I just want you to remove them. So remove all the indicators. So you should have 2 at the top here, and you should have this bottom one at the bottom, the stochastic RSI. So just hover your mouse over it. It should be somewhere towards the bottom left of the screen. Hover your mouse over it, find the cross, click it, and remove it. With the free version of TradingView, we are only allowed a maximum of 3 indicators at a time. Now, you might think that that seems so little because there's hundreds of indicators that you can use. But guys, at this stage in the game, if you're going to be using more than 3, you are going to confuse yourself and you're going to make it very difficult. Remember, guys, trading is very simple. It's the emotions that we have that make it confusing. So being on the free version is actually so much better for newbies because it limits our emotional exposure, if I can put it that way. So let's go and load the 3 important indicators that we're going to need as newbies. So to find your indicators, you're going to come to this toolbar here on the top of the screen, and you're going to click on this little FX icon, and it's going to open up your indicators and strategies. So I want you to click on built-ins, and I want you to search for moving average. As you can see here, mine's already been favorited. It's one that I use all the time. And I want you to go ahead and click that as your favorite. So select that little outline of a star, make it turn yellow, and you've added it to your favorites. Once you've done that, I want you to click on moving average twice. Once, you can see here it's appeared, my moving average, and I want you to go ahead and click on it again for a second time. And you're going to see it's added now a second moving average. It looks the same, it is the same, but don't worry, we're going to go in and edit each one of them individually so that they make sense for us. Okay? But the next one we want to search for is volume. So go ahead and search for volume, and sort of here in the middle of the page, just where it says volume, nothing else, you're going to go ahead and you're going to click on that once so that you can see it appears here. Another one I want you to add to your favorites is the Bollinger Band. So go ahead and search for Bollinger, right? And you can see over here, Bollinger Bands. I just want you to make it a favorite. We're not going to select it because we've already got 3 indicators here, but it is something nice to toggle between volume and the Bollinger Band. So when you want to use the Bollinger Band instead of volume, you're just going to come here, you're going to remove the volume indicator by clicking on the cross. You're going to come back to your indicators, you're going to select your favorites, which is now Bollinger Band, and you will have Bollinger Band instead. Okay, let's go in and update these moving averages because they're not correct. We want to change them to our preferences. So you want to click on this, on the first one, on the first MA9, you're going to come here and you're going to hit the settings button. It's going to open up this little text box here. I want you to click on inputs, and where it says length, we're going to change this to the number 20. As soon as you've done that, you can go over to style, and we're actually going to change the color here to green. Guys, at this stage, trust me, green and red are not my favorite colors, but I definitely don't want to go and use colors like pink and blue right now because this is standard across the trading community. So I want you to be using the colors that are standard across the board so that when other people start talking about the moving averages and what the indicators are doing and the colored lines, I want you guys to be able to follow on your side. So remember, you've now changed it to 20, and your style, you've now changed it to green. You can also change the thickness of the bands, but I'm going to leave mine nice and thin because it's easier to look at long term. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on OK. So now you can see that this indicator has changed. So it's MA20, great, and it is now a very nice green line that we've got in there. Now I want you to click on the MA9, the one just underneath that, and we're going to click on the settings button. Right off the bat, it's prompting to style. So you want to change this color to red. Once that's done, click on inputs and change your length to 50. Once you're done, say OK, and you can see it's a very, very nice red line now. So you've got those two in, and you've also got this. Let me just take this ad away. You're going to get a lot of ads on the free version, but it's just one of the small sacrifices to pay for being on a free platform. Okay, so you can see my volume indicator. It's now here at the bottom of my screen. Okay, great. So we've got our indicators set up. I'm just going to tell you very quickly what the importance of these two moving average lines are. Guys, standard trading 101 information. How do you know when you buy Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency that you've got on this platform, as a matter of fact? Quite simply, when the green line goes above the red line. Okay, then you know it's a safe time to buy into that cryptocurrency. When do you know to sell out of that particular cryptocurrency? When the red line is above the green line. Guys, this is just a really, really simple strategy, and it works out 90% of the time. But guys, this is crypto and anything can happen. So please don't just base it, you know, solely on this principle. Think of trading as an investigation. There are so many different aspects that you need to go and investigate. So there's going to be YouTubers, there's going to be different channels, there's going to be different trading platforms, different signals. So your job as a trader is to go and collect all these bits of information. So you're going to go and you're going to do your research, you're going to investigate each and every avenue. And then you're going to come back to one central point, you're going to consolidate all that info, and you are then going to make your decision based on that. So at the moment, if I would say just based on this strategy that I've showed you now with the different moving averages, would you say that it's a good time to buy Bitcoin? And remember what I said, if the green line is above the red line, it's probably a good time to get into the market. But if it is a red line over the green line, then it's probably a time that you should be looking at getting out the market. But again, guys, you need to check out all the different avenues and you need to make your own informed decisions when it comes to trading. So it's just a nice to have. If you wanted to take a screenshot of your progress, all you're going to do is you're just going to come onto this camera icon at the top right-hand side of the screen, and you're going to click on that, and it's going to take a screenshot of your image. And you can then, at this stage, either copy the link to this particular chart, or you can just send it then directly via Twitter. You can also save your image too. All right, guys, so that's it for TradingView. Like I said, it's really simple, but the more advanced you get, the more you start using this different platform, the better you're going to get at it and the more advanced you're going to want to become. So the last tool I want to show you how to use is the measurement tool. This is a really cool tool for you to be able to gauge what percentage drop or increase has happened in the market at a particular time. You can also measure over what time period this happened. So if you just come here on the left-hand side, you're going to click on the measurement tool, and you can see it's selected. It's now blue. And let's say I wanted to measure what percentage drop this long red candle indicated. So I'm going to click my mouse at the top of this drop, and I'm just going to move my mouse down to the bottom of this drop. And you're going to see it was a 54% drop. Okay, so it's quite a cool tool for you to be able to gauge. Let's say I wanted to measure how long this up run went along for. So I'm going to click here at the bottom of this up run, and I'm going to go across all the way to where it started coming down again. So I'm going to go all the way to top, and you can actually see here, it's not displaying so nicely, sorry about that guys, but you can see it went on for 140 days and it went across 20 bars. Okay, so a nice tool to use just to gauge, you know, different runs or retracements in the markets. Alright guys, so I hope that this video has given you a bit of confidence when it comes to TradingView. Hope you got some value out of today's session. And yeah, guys, wishing you all the best for your trading. Happy trading, guys. Cheers for now.